Also, I'd love to be like just a therapist on this world of Marvel and how much people are suffering on a day-to-day basis from like, there's gods among us.
What is my reality?
There's aliens. Shit's coming out of the ground. Everyone saw this psychic thing of this thing that's like, there's all this, the sheer amount of activity on Earth is staggering. No other planets have this level of activity. And everything is, this is the Tatooine of the Marvel Universe. Everything is happening here.
That's such a good point.
These 8 to 9 billion people on this planet must be suffering on a day-to-day basis, being like, what fucking existential event is going to happen now? You've got Mysterio, who's faking these kind of Avengers level threats. And it's like, it's just drones. It's all good. No big deal. People can't trust anything. It's like the misinformation that goes around about this shit and the idea of like, hey, we got a new superhero. You're like, fuck, not another one. Not another one. What is this? Is this a good one or a bad one? It's like you just hear about all this shit. Even with Moon Knight, there's this goddamn guy that's serving the goddess of death that's judging people as to whether or not they should live or die based on their sins. Are they in balance? You go down the list of all the stuff. You're like, there's a super secret intelligence organization that was taken over by Nazis that wrecked the world. Like, what? It's just bonkers. And all of this has happened in a very short time frame.
Right.
Thor was around. Sure, you had the Tesseract around. You had Hydra around. But the Eternals were here, sprinkled, but super active. Well, active in the years of 2008 to 2023, because that follows the same time as everything. These past 15 years must be a nightmare in that universe, an absolute existential nightmare.
Doug, we're missing one of the biggest things that happened to these people is that half the population just straight up disappeared and then came back.
Yeah. And we talked about that in Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I loved. It's like, hey, these people were gone. They came back. They're like, this is my home. They're like, no, you're dead. This is my house now. And they're like, where the fuck do we go? And the socioeconomical impact of that, I was like, I love it. Let's dig into it. But what about this big fucking hand in the ocean, man? Like, I mean, it must be miserable to live in this universe as an average person. It would suck.
Not agree more. Right. Like, you got to go back to your job as a data analyst at the CVS, corporate office. And you're like, I can't.
How do you focus as like a kid going to school?
No.
You're like, this guy and his shadow monster invaded New Asgard last night, stealing kids. And they're like, yeah, math's important right now because that's happening.
Right.
Some guy with some goddamn demon sword is stealing kids in New Asgard. You're like, ha 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 ha.
Okay. We need to redistribute a new publication of these history books. Fresh off the presses. Here's all the things that just happened. We're sorry. Yeah. We have to keep changing it. And now with the multiverse, we have to retcon all of our history books. You know, who knows when Stark comes back.
And not only that, it's like insurance companies must not even exist in this world.
They're all wiped out.
Fucking banker. After the Battle of New York, they got wiped out, let alone everything else. They're just like, I can't do this. We cannot exist in this world. Pay for your own shit. I'm sorry.